Hi everybody, welcome to week 12. Hope you're getting excited for Halloween. I'm sure several of you have little kids to get dressed up and take out tomorrow night. I don't have any little kids to do that with anymore, but we do look forward to handing out candy in our little town here. We have friends come over and have supper between handing out candy and visiting with everybody who comes by. So it's usually a pretty fun night. I hope you guys have a good time too. Let's look at week 12 together. So this week will be on disorders of the musculoskeletal and the integumentary function. So there's an overview of the week. There is again a pre-quiz on the chapters 49, 50, 51, and 52, and then some PowerPoint slides to look at as well. There's a very short concepts in action animation. There's two articles here. One is about osteoarthritis, and the other one is about skin damage. And there are a few other videos here that don't take very long but are very interesting. And an interesting one too about dealing with multiple rashes, acne versus rosacea, which can be difficult sometimes, and osteoarthritis versus rheumatoid arthritis, and those were both very interesting too. So take some time and watch those. None of them are too terribly long. We don't have any midweek assignments this week. You do have your Module 12 assignment, and then your disease pathology paper, Part 3. And this is your last submission prior to submitting your final. This week will be on prognosis, diagnosis, and treatment options. So, somebody's already submitted that. Very good. So you can work on that. I thought we could look at what's coming up as well. Next week is actually a break week. I'm sure you all have looked ahead and marked that in your calendars. So I hope so anyways. I'll actually be on campus for a few of those days for intensive. So, and then Module 14, the following week is when your final submission for your paper is due. And I wanted to look at that again with you guys one more time. So remember, the purpose of this paper is to discuss the etiology, pathogenesis, clinical manifestations, natural history, prognosis, diagnosis, and treatment options for your disease that you chose to write about. You must also address features of diversity as it relates to culture, gender, age, in relation to the specified disease process. So a lot of that may be covered in the etiology portion of your paper. It could be also under treatment option or prognosis, if different cultures have a different prognosis based on their race, if historically they've had a poor outcome, etc. So just remember to include that in your paper as well. And then discuss how your own personal faith can be integrated into your treatment options. Your paper needs to be 8 to 10 pages long, not including your title page or your references. And by the way, you guys did really well this week, turning in Part 2. Actually, last week I just got finished grading Part 2, but they all looked really, really good. I can see you're really taking to heart the APA guidelines, looking things up much, much better. So you do not need an abstract, remember that. And a few things on the APA, just little tips and pointers, is one is that in APA writing, you never want to write in first person. So you don't want to ever say anything like, I've experienced this myself, or when I've seen this in clinical practice, this is what we've done. You don't ever want to speak from that point of view. That's just how this format of writing is designed. Other things, don't start a sentence with the word with if you can avoid it. It's just not ideal. And in APA, we want you to use as few words as possible to get your point across. and use as few direct quotes as possible. Those should be used very, very rarely. And when they are, what you should be doing actually is summarizing what you're reading from your resources, paraphrasing, and then citing your source. So very, very minimal use of direct quotes in APA. So I think if some of you are coming back with a higher Turnitin score, it may be because you're using direct quotes and that's catching you up on that. But I think that is about it for this week. If you have any questions or concerns or need to meet with me, let me know. I'll try and post some office hours in the announcements section. I have to kind of look at my calendar for that first. But I hope you have a great week. Enjoy Halloween and take care.